It's 2024 and AI is taking over the way we search. Don't believe me? Best plumbers near me. What we're used to seeing is the map pack and then local search results, right? But very soon, we're going to start to see this. And what is this? This was created by generative AI. That's right, people. AI is taking over local search results. Look at it again. If this is what pops up first, you have to go all the way down here to get to the map pack, all the way down here to get to your search results. If you're a small business owner or you help people with small businesses show up higher, this is a big deal. How do we stay ahead of the game? That's what we're going to find out today in this video. Because for years, a Google Business Profile has been the fastest and easiest way to reach local customers. And it appears that AI generative search is actually going to reward Google Business Profiles. Don't believe me? Stick around. What's the point of this video? This is a masterclass for Google Business Profiles specifically designed for 2024 with AI in mind, with local customers in mind, and making sure that your Google Business Profile is completely optimized and ready to go. Who the heck am I? Hey, my name is Sam Sarson. I'm the owner of Then Can Designs, Ben Web Design, and SEO, where I know you need way more than a website. You need more TLC, that's traffic, leads, and clients. And I've spent hundreds of hours learning about local SEO so I could serve my clients better, and now I'm giving back the knowledge that I've gained from all the SEO experts. I'm barely an SEO novice in this game, but I've gotten scrappy to get SEO results this year, and I want to pass on the knowledge that I've gained because I think it's going to help us in 2024. So, are you ready to dive deep on Google Business Profiles so that your business can rank higher in 2024 and beyond? How do you use this video? Well, if you look below, all the chapters are laid out. So if you know some of the basic knowledge, like what a Google Business Profile is, whether or not you qualify for it, go ahead, skip ahead. I won't take offense to it. And if you can only watch a little bit right now and you want to come back to the rest of it later, that's also fine. That's why it's set up this way. So please dig in deep and let's see what we can do to help you get more TLC for your business. Let's get to it. So what is a Google Business Profile? It's a tool provided by Google, completely free, for businesses that serve local customers. It's a little kind of like a mini website that shows up in search results, maps, as well as in shopping. We've all seen these before. When you search for that thing near me, plumbers near me, coffee shop near me, hospital near me, the Google Business Profile is what pops up. And for years now, the Google Business Profile is the first thing that pops up in the search results. And so it's super important if you have a small business that serves local customers to make sure that your Google Business Profile is dialed in. So that way you can show up higher, get more traffic, get those people to your website, turn them into leads, and eventually turn them into clients. What are the key benefits to a Google Business Profile? Well, the first thing is connection with your potential customers. Before they even get to your website, they have a way to interact. They can ask questions, and the customers that you've given great service to can leave reviews. And that's a great way to build social proof and also help people understand whether or not they should trust you and work with you down the road. It's actually really important. Google Business Profile is also a super easy way to list your products and your services. Don't worry, we'll dive way deeper into this to figure out how you do that later on in the video. Google Business Profile also lets you post updates. Research by SEO experts shows that people actually look at the offer post that you can put into your Google Business Profile. So do not overlook this, and it's a great way to show activity, which Google likes to reward over time. So we like these posts on Google Business Profiles. And the last thing that's important is the analytics and insights you get from a Google Business Profile. It's not a lot. It's not the same you get from something like Google Analytics, but it's nice. Let me give you an example. You just go to your Google Business Profile dashboard, click on Performance, And then you'll get to see a trend of your interactions over time. And what's really cool is you get to see different interactions. So I don't get any phone calls, but I've worked with clients who get dozens of phone calls a month from their Google Business Profile. You can also get messages. People can book directly through. And the big thing for me is website clicks. So I can see those interactions fluctuating over time, and I can see if I can relate that to any activity that I'm doing online or offline. All right, we know what a Google Business Profile is. Now let's ask another big question. Who qualifies for a Google Business Profile? Let me give it to you in a nutshell. If you have a physical location, yes. If you serve customers at their location, yes. If you serve customers at a neutral location, probably yes. And if you have a hybrid business, if you have an online-only business, the answer is probably no. Let's break this down a little further with some examples. The most clear-cut case for having a Google Business Profile is if you have a physical location that serves local customers. If you have a retail store, a restaurant, or even like a health clinic, all those things definitely qualify for Google Business Profiles. No problem there. Now where it gets a little stickier are service area businesses. Historically, it wasn't quite clear whether or not these businesses qualified for Google Business Profiles, but especially with the COVID pandemic, it meant that Google had to really recognize these businesses. So even if you work from home, you can totally qualify for a Google Business Profile. Don't believe me? I have a Google Business Profile. I work from home. This is a green screen. Service-based businesses like plumbers, electricians, who may or may not have a location that they serve customers at, but definitely they serve customers at their homes, that type of business qualifies for a Google Business Profile. And if you do have a physical location, for instance, I've worked with a client that is B2B. They serve their clients at their location, but they also have a physical location where they warehouse stuff, and occasionally clients will come and pick things up there. That's a hybrid business. They have a physical location and they service their clients at their location. And so on their Google Business Profile, they're going to have their physical location and their service area. We'll talk about setting up your service area later. But it's totally okay to not have your location public if you don't want it to be. The most important thing is that you represent your business with authenticity and accuracy. Do not try to misrepresent your business some way, somehow. Remember that a Google Business Profile is part of your local SEO strategy. If you're a small business that serves local customers, you want to make sure that your Google Business Profile is dialed in and directed at the clients or customers that you serve in your surrounding area. Again, if you only work with clients exclusively online, never in person, never locally, you do not qualify for a Google Business Profile. You'll have to attract customers online through other means. If you have any questions, check out Google's Business Eligibility and Ownership Guidelines for more information. That's where you learn about weird edge cases like whether or not an ATM or a mailbox qualifies for a Google Business Profile. Spoiler alert, they do. You'll notice that a lot of the other Google Business Profile videos on YouTube will feature the phrase Google My Business in the title, and that's because they still see about 10 times more search volume than Google Business Profile. However, we're betting that SGE will favor post videos, etc. that are specifically mentioning the new name Google Business Profile. Wait, what's SGE? I'm so glad you asked. SGE stands for Search Generative Experience, and it's an AI-generated result for your search query that you put into Google. It's actually Google's experiment into AI-generated responses in the search results, and it's actually live right now here early in 2024 in kind of a beta format, but Google has announced that it is launching in the next 6 months everywhere. Are you ready for it? Well, just in case you're not reading every SEO article that comes out late at night, scrolling in bed before you go to sleep, like somebody I know does, maybe you should subscribe to this email list where we try to keep you ahead of the SEO or the SGE game, whatever it may look like by the end of this year. Head over to yoursmallbizseosuccess.com, yoursmallbizseosuccess.com, and sign up for my completely free email list where we talk about stuff like this: Google business profiles, local SEO, email marketing, specifically for small businesses that serve local customers, because I want to make sure that small businesses do not get left behind in this AI-driven world that we're headed towards. And I think that there's ways that we can leverage that to our advantage. So let's work together. The email list is not about sales, it's about help. So again, yoursmallbizseosuccess.com, your name, your email, go fill that out and come back to the video. You ready? Let's keep going. You've made it to the meat and potatoes of the video. How do we set up a Google business profile? Well, when I first started to do this video, I was like, oh, I'll go through the motion of setting up a Google business profile. But then I realized I have a client that I can actually set up a Google business profile for. So I'm super excited about this. My client's name is Rick, and he owns GoodRight EV mobile charging in Central Oregon. He's located in Culver, but he serves all of Central Oregon. I bet he's going to be charging all the Rivians and Teslas in Bend in no time. But right now, he can't get his Google business profile approved. We're going to set up his Google business profile and try to complete as many of the settings as possible. Throughout, I might jump to some other Google business profiles to give you examples of what other settings might look like, because it changes based on the type of business. And so I'll also jump into my business profile so that way you can see some settings that I've tweaked for mine. All right, so the first thing you want to do when you're signing up for a new Google business profile is go to google.com/business. So you want to make sure you're signed into the Google account that is going to be associated with your business. And so I highly recommend to make sure you double check that Gmail that's going to be linked up to it. Probably not that one you made in high school with that funny nickname. All right, so you signed in, good to go. All right, now we're going to click Manage Now. And there's a good chance that your business will not exist down here. If it's been around for a while, you might be able to claim it because it already has a Google business profile. You just haven't set it up yet. But more often than not, this is what I see. Create a business with this name, click that, and we'll get started. And then you're going to choose your business category. This is so important. This is your primary business category, and it is the most influential ranking factor for Google business profiles. Don't believe me? These are the top ranking factors based on input from SEO experts across the world, and the number one most important factor is the primary Google business profile category. So how do we figure out which category to put? Well, I'll tell you right now that for Rick it's kind of complicated, so don't worry too much about that. But let me give you a more practical example, and let me show you how to figure that out. The first thing you want to do is go to Google Maps, and then you're going to look up what you think is your primary business category near me, hit enter, and then you're going to look at the results that pop up. And what I want you to see here is that we have this little thing right below the star rating. And for the first few, we have landscaper, landscape designer, landscape designer, landscape designer, landscaper, landscaper. Lawn care service, landscaping supply store, landscaper. And so sometimes it can be hard to tell which one to pick, and this is one of those ones that's really hard to tell, but I've done a little bit of research on this one before, and if you type in landscaper near me, all the big guys show up under landscaper, and so that's the one I would pick if I was doing a landscaping business. And so this is so important, people. You do not want to be cute. You do not want to be unique. You want to show up amongst your competition here. So make sure you're copying them. You can be cute later with your secondary categories and your service listings. We'll talk about that later. Towing service. All right, so I just put in Rick's primary business categories. Now it's asking, do you want to add a location customers can visit, like a store or office? Now Rick is a service area business. His home base is his home, right? So we're actually not going to put his business, but if we were, we would click yes, click next, and then it would have us enter the address for his business, and that would be publicly facing. Now I'm going to click no, which is pretty common for people, especially if they work from home, or say you have a cleaning service and you would just, you work from home, but you work at your customers' locations. You're going to pick no. It's still going to ask you for your address, but you won't have to make that publicly visible, okay? Let's show you, that's what we're gonna do for Rick here. Now this place, we're going to put our service area. Now this is important because if you are a service area business, you need to put this. And if you're a hybrid business, you have a location and you service customers at their location or a neutral location, you want to put this as well. So important, listen to this. Do not put anything more than 2 hours driving away from you, and preferably less than that if you can. So we're in Central Oregon, so I'm going to put a bunch of Central Oregon locations and then we're going to pop back afterwards. All right, that looks pretty good. I might have missed a town or two in between a couple different spots, but it's okay. We can always add those in later. So let's go ahead and click next. And here you're going to put the phone number and website. And this is going to be publicly facing, so make sure that it's a phone number that you're okay with receiving business calls on. Now, I've worked with a lot of clients that aren't quite at this point yet. They might not have a website, or their phone number is not really appropriate to be their business phone number that's out to the world. So it can be a little scary to put this information here. Again, you can leave it blank, but it makes the verification process easier if you already have a website set up and if you already have a business number, or at least can use your current phone number for the time being. So let's put Rick's information in and I'll meet you on the next page. All right, so we got his phone number and his website in there, and let's click next. Now, this is another one of the very, very important steps to getting your Google Business Profile set up and verified more quickly. You have to put your real address in here. Do not put a PO box. Do not put a co-working space. I'll let you in on a little SEO insight. Yes, if you have a physical location, you will rank higher. That is always preferred. However, I have seen businesses rank very high in the map pack without revealing their location and without having to resort to tactics like using a PO box or a co-working space. And by the way, if you do that, you'll get suspended because it is so against the rules right now. It's actually probably the number one way to get suspended fast. Let me give you an example. Check this out. See that? Ben Can Designs, Ben Web Design SEO. Number 2. Number 1, good friend for media website design. They have a location. All of those are sponsored. Number 3, Laura Bowley. Never met her. Seems like a nice person. Has a location, right? Yep, there she is. And number 2, Then Can Designs. No location. Service area businesses can rank in the map pack without a location. Don't believe it? I'm living proof. Wish I was number 1. We're working on it. All right, so now I'm going to put in Rick's home address. All right, so I've entered in his address. You should be seeing a blurry screen, and we're going to hit next. And now it's time to verify the business. And what's happened to us, folks? The worst possible option. Let me explain the other options you might see here. Sometimes you get insta-verified. I've seen this happen before. There's enough information that Google can infer that you are in fact a real business that's been around for a little bit, and so they just verify your business right away. I love when that happens. It makes it so easy. Other times, sometimes it's just a text or an email. You just enter the code, you're good to go, right? Love when that happens as well. For me, when I had to verify my business, and this was pretty common for the last few years, you would get a postcard in the mail. They sent me a postcard to my address. It had a code on it. I entered the code. I got it about 5 business days later, and boom, verified right away. Nowadays, the most common way to have to verify your business is a business video. And I can tell you this much, it is a pain in the ass. So it's such a pain in the ass, I've decided to make a separate video. So be sure to check it out here, where I quickly show you how to set up that video, and then I explain some of the elements that I included in there to make sure I was following Google's guidelines. So if you're stuck on that step, please go check out that other video and then come back and we'll talk about getting all the other settings dialed in after you're verified. Now, sometimes it will give you more options down here, but often it'll just tell you to verify later. And so for now, because the business owner does have to do this, so I need Rick to do this step, and so I'm gonna show him that other video, and then we're going to get him verified. Let's move on to the next step. So again, they're just reminding us the steps of what you need to do for the verification video. Again, check out that video if you want to learn more about this. Right now, I'm just going to click next. And again, it's giving us options. And I'm just going to say verify it later. And if you're just not ready to make your video yet, this is a way to get out of that loop. And so that way you can actually fill out all of your settings and then you can circle back and do the video later, okay? Now it's time to add your services. So if you're a service business, which you probably are, if you're filling out a Google Business Profile, you want to add those. So let's do that right now. All right, so that looks pretty good for our man Rick. And then you want to put your business hours. It's super important that you accurately represent this. There is some recent findings that Google's starting to reward businesses that are open over businesses that are closed, but you don't want to put that you're open 24 hours a day if you're not available to answer the phone. So be very careful if you try to implement that SEO hack that you can actually answer the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning. All right, so we got hours filled in, and if we need to make changes, it's super easy to change that later. And it's also important to keep this updated, and so we'll do that for holiday hours, and I'll show you a spot where you can do that really easily later. Should you accept messaging? Well, the answer is if you have the Google Maps app on your phone, you should do it because it's going to help boost your rankings. The more features you turn on, the more Google will reward you. So I usually tell people yes. For now, I'm going to keep this off until we get verified, but I'm going to turn it on the second we make sure we have everything dialed in and Rick's ready to roll. Now we're going to do a business description for Rick's business, GoodRight EV mobile charging. And so it's really important to talk about what your business does, who it serves, what service area locations you have. Now, for a long time, SEOs really thought that it was important to stuff keywords into here. However, research indicates that that's not so much the point. However, Google has been showing this business description all over the place in its services. So it's highly recommended to tailor this for humans. Now, what I like to do to start off is just start with a little ChatGPT version, show it to the client, and then we kind of work back and forth from there to really make sure it matches his brand voice. So I'll just show you my process. First, I'll go to the website and I'll get all the text. I paste in the copy and then I go, so I've written, based on the provided copy, please give me a Google Business Profile description for GoodRight EV Mobile Charging, a mobile EV charging service located in Central Oregon, serving customers primarily in Bend. You have 500 characters. Thanks. Because if you're not saying please and thank you to your prompts to ChatGPT, just remember you're basically causing Terminator. Let's see what they say. All right, perfect. I'm gonna hit copy and go back to the Google Business Profile, paste in the description, and it meets our 750 character limit. We have a call to action at the end to contact us. This isn't bad. It's not perfect, but it's a starting place and we can work on smoothing this out later. It's better than nothing. So let's carry on. Now, the next thing you want to do is add photos of your business. It's really important to include a logo and a cover photo. The logo should be 720 by 720 pixels. The cover photo should be the totally randomly selected 1024 by 575. I guess that's 16 by 9. And we'll talk a little bit more about images in a little bit. However, if you ever want to reference, in the description, there will be a link to the blog post that's related to this video, and it has the dimensions all laid out, so you can kind of use that as a resource. For now, I'm just going to skip this section, and that's usually what I do with most of my clients. One of the keys here is don't upload stock photos. The last thing is they're going to offer you ads, and so if you put in $500, they'll give you $500 for free. And I mean, if you're at that point in your business and you know what you want to do with your PPC strategy, great, but most people aren't, so just hit skip. It's kind of a scam. And now it says your edits will be visible once you're verified. So we have not verified this business profile yet, so it will not be publicly visible. However, on the next screen, we're going to be able to actually look at our business profile dashboard and we'll be able to talk more about all the settings. All right, so now we have our Google Business Profile dashboard right here. The most common place you're going to go to is Edit Profile. And by the way, when it's time to get verified, you're going to click that button right there. So Edit Profile, let's click on that. And you'll see all the different settings right here. Yeah, we know. The first up is your business name. Now, a lot of people will tell you online that you should stuff in your keywords in your business name. Now, let me give you some caveats. If it is part of your legal business name, great. If you set up a DBA that includes your keywords, great. If your logo has been changed in a way that includes your keywords and your location, amazing. Let me give you an example. You see that logo in the top left corner? then Can Designs, Ben Web Design, and SEO. Didn't originally say Ben Web Design and SEO. It does now because I wanted to be able to include it in my business title. So if you want to include it in your business name, make sure it's part of your legal business name. You have an actual DBA to do business as with the keyword, or you've changed your logo so that it's very clearly stated and you mention it a lot. Remember at the start of the video, I mentioned it. And I mention it a lot. So right now that's his business name. We can keep going. We already talked about the business category. You should have that set up. However, if you click that little pencil, now you can add other categories. So I'm going to do that for Rick now. All right, so now as we're scrolling down, we have some more things that we're going to put. So I'm also going to put the opening date. So when he opened his business. Oh, I have to hit save. So make sure you hit save there when you add that secondary category. And then I'm going to add opening date. And if you don't know the day that you opened the business, that's fine. Just put the first of the month that you opened it. And then you'll see the business location is not publicly listed. That's good. We have our service area. We have our hours. You can add special hours for holidays here. All right. And I'm going to put this other stuff here later. Okay. So that's it for the profile settings. And another thing you want to do when you're setting up your business, you put the logo right there. So you click on photos and then click on logo again, 720 by 720. And your cover photo, again, that 1024 by 575. And down here, if you add an update, which we'll talk more about later, when you add an update, you have the option to, well, you gotta get verified first, but you have the option to add a photo, and those are supposed to be 1200 by 900, which is a 4:3 aspect ratio. Again, if you get stuck, you need to look that stuff up later. There's a blog post down there in the description, has all that stuff summarized. All right, small biz owner, congratulations. You have set up your Google business profile. Hopefully you even got it verified at this point. But now the tough question begins, what do we do with it? And if there's nothing you take away from this video except for this next line, I hope this is what you take away. Google rewards activity. The more you do to your Google business profile consistently over time, the better they reward you. And so it's not so important to do all this stuff at once. It's actually more important to do a little bit of stuff over time. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about Google business profile management. How we give our Google business profile the love it deserves over time, so that way Google can keep rewarding us and helping bump us up the rankings a little bit. That's what we want, right? Because we want more TLC, traffic, leads, and clients. The way we get more traffic is to show up higher on the search results. And remember, like I alluded to at the start, the better dialed in your Google business profile is, the more likely SGE will serve it up in the future. Don't worry, we'll dig more into that in the next chapter. So let's talk about managing your Google business profile. If you want to manage your Google business profile, the fastest way to do that is to go to Google and search for My Business. And then you'll have all the business that you manage down here in this little area. Just click View Profile, and then you can access that Google Business Profile dashboard. One of the most important things to do on an ongoing basis is to check for reviews. Now, the nice thing is that Google will send you an email when you get a review, and they make it super easy to respond to the review. So you want to do two things every time you get a review. One, you want to click on like, and you want to give that thumbs up a little nudge right there. Smash that thumbs up button. And by the way, this might be a good time to remind you to hit that thumbs up button on the video, right? Be sure to like it. And then you want to add a response. And so I've responded to everything, but normally you would click reply, and then you want to type out response. And you want to be really thoughtful. And pro tip, if you can find a way to naturally weave in a keyword while you're filling it out, awesome. Responding to reviews is the easiest way to keep your profile engaged. Now, to get reviews, you gotta ask for them in the first place. And so the way to do that is you gotta click that little arrow, and there's this ask for reviews button, and you'll get a little link right here that you can copy and send in an email, put on a QR code, whatever you gotta do. The key is that you don't just wanna get reviews. I can't stress this enough. There are a lot of ways to get a lot of reviews nowadays. But you don't just want volume. You want quality reviews where people talk about your services and ideally mention your keywords in their reviews, but in a natural way. They discuss how your plumbing fixed an emergency situation that they needed to get through. That's what Google's looking for in reviews, not great service, highly recommend. It needs to be a little bit more than that. So try to train your customers to give you reviews with 5 stars and to make sure that they really highlight the awesome service that you gave them. And of course, start by giving awesome service. I'm sure that's what you're already doing. Another way to keep your Google Business Profile updated over time is to include updates. And that's that button right here, right next to Ask for Reviews, where you can add an update. So this is what it looks like. The most generic one is this add update. Again, it's 1200 by 900 pixels for the image here. Go to the blog post so you can see the review of all those. And then you're going to put a description for your update, and you can include a call to action button. It could be book, order now, buy, learn more, sign up, call now, all these good things. And so you're going to have a call to action. You can see actually for Then Can Designs, we have a couple updates down here. Let's check this out. Exciting announcement. Look, small biz SEO success. You click sign up right here. You go to the site. What? I just have to put my first name and my email? Pfft, awesome. But this is a place where you can put updates. Now, SEOs have done a lot of research on this, and here's what they found out. People don't really look at these, but the algorithm does. This is a way to teach the algorithm about your business. Talk about your services and link back to them. That is my pro tip for you. You don't have to post every day. Heck, you really don't have to post every week. But if you post consistently, maybe once every other week for how many ever services you have? 2 times? That's a good starting place. And if you're starting to see some traction, you're starting to see your ranking go up, continue to do it at a sustainable rate. Now, the Google post that's been shown to actually be seen by humans is the offer post. And so you really want to leverage that whenever you can. If you have a sale, do it, post it, and let it be known. But make it so it actually has a real timeline, and so that it's not good right now. And it's not good right now. You can't get a site in a day for under $1,000 anymore. So those are Google post updates, whatever the heck they're called. Not super valuable to humans except for offers and events. People like events, right? And that'll show up in the local search results as well for events in town. So those ones are important, but make sure you're doing those updates as well for the algorithm, for the generative AI, because it's probably going to be pulling from that. Now, what else can we do to make sure that we're really optimizing our Google Business Profile, giving it the love it needs? Well, once we get everything set up, we really want to make sure we go through and edit our services. Now, you're going to see a mess here. Google's had a lot of time to look at my business, and it's offered a lot of services, and it's also offering some other ones. And so Google's had a long time to scrape my site and look at the services I offer, and it's a good idea to go through this and take anything off that you don't offer. Let's take a quick look at this here. Okay, I found one. DIY website. I don't offer DIY websites. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to hit delete service, and I'll say, okay, that won't be visible on your Google Business Profile anymore. Great, gives them a better idea of what services I do offer. Yours is going to be way shorter, and when I first start with businesses, I usually have to manually put these services in, but this is your chance to put your unique services in. So when I have the chance to do this for Rick, I made sure that I actually put mobile EV charging, because that's what he really does. So I want to make sure that gets highlighted somewhere in his services. So when people are looking for that, hopefully he'll show up. The same strategy goes for products. Now, pro tip, if you're a service-based business, you can actually put your services in as products. It is not an SEO hack. Actually, Google recommends that you do this to make it easier for people to find your services. And so I've done that. It is also really helpful to include categories. Now for me, I only have one category, but it's very easy to add a category. You go into the product, you pick category right here, you can create a new category. It's super easy. My product description is not descriptive enough. There should totally be more words, and you want to make sure that the page that it goes to is the actual landing page where the purchase can occur. Okay, so make sure you have a very clear title, you pick the right category, you put the price if necessary. Some service-based businesses aren't going to want to put that in there. But if you're selling an actual product, definitely include that. And then a descriptive product description and a clear landing page. All right. Last but not least, you want to make sure you fill out every single option you possibly can. Hear me out. first things first, you want to make sure when you go to edit profile, everything is filled out. And so earlier, I skipped a couple things. In fact, you want to make sure that your social profiles are now added. That is a new attribute that you can put. And so it did not add my LinkedIn. I'm gonna try again, see if it'll let me add my LinkedIn. And then I have my business hours, I have my holiday hours, and then from the business, you want to click on this and see if you meet any of these. And so one of the new ones that was added is small business. For some reason that's not in my business category, but that usually shows up here. I don't qualify for any of these, so I'm gonna leave that alone. But if you do, I highly recommend that you check that box, because people are often searching for these things. They want to work with a women-owned business. Maybe they want to help Black-owned businesses out in their community. And if you just check that little box, that might lead to a conversion for you. And so why not check that box? You can pick your crowd here, and then you can have planning options. Are appointments required? For me, they're not. They kind of are, but not really. So, you can send an email anytime. And then when it comes to service options, I do offer online appointments, so I check that. And then English. Based on your category, you will see different options, all right? And particularly if you're like a food-based business, you will see menu options and you'll be able to put all that stuff in there. So make sure you fill everything out based on your business. It will look different, and it's not worth going into all the options. Just make sure you check every single box. The more you do, the better. You don't want to stop until you see this green circle of happiness right here. That's what I like to call it. This is the messages button. This is how you turn the messages feature on. So I have the message feature turned on. You will get notifications in your Google Maps app on your phone that's linked to the Google profile that you set the account up with. That's why it was important to pick a good one at the start. Remember that? You can add photos, just general photos here as well to your profile. It's recommended to either have them be 1200 by 900 or just in a square aspect ratio like 1200 by 1200. But I've noticed that the 1200 by 900 seems to perform best. This is where you can see your analytics. And so I showed this off earlier, but I can see my interactions with my Google Business profile trending up and to the right. We always like to see that. This is a quick link to be able to advertise if you want to try out PPC. This was the place to do products, edit your services. If you can offer bookings online, you definitely want to fill this out. Even if it's just a link to your Calendly, definitely do that. If you have a contact page, that's the one you're going to want to link to there. Calls, always good to turn this on. And it does go through like a forwarding number, and then it goes to your business, and that's so they can keep track of if you're answering the phone. And that's why it's really important to have accurate hours on your Google Business profile. Last but not least, because we've already talked about asking for reviews and adding updates down there, is the Q&A section. This is super important, and I want to let you know that you can actually add your own Q&As in here. So you can ask a question, and then you can answer the question in there. So if you think of questions that your clients are always asking you, put like 3 of those in there when you first set up your profile, and then just wait. And if anybody asks one down the road, you'll get that notification in your Google Maps app on your phone, and just respond to it when you get a second, and you can write a couple paragraphs down. That way it's not just a quick little yes or no. You want to try to maybe put some keywords in there while you're answering, but again, make it natural. And if you need some help, just ask ChatGPT. It's got your back. Speaking of somebody having your back, wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to worry about all this? Like if you've made it this far in the video and your eyes are kind of glazed over and you're like, holy crap, that's a lot of settings. That's a lot of stuff to worry about. I don't know if I want to do that. Well, I don't really like to sell on my YouTube videos, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to say that ThenCan Designs does offer local SEO services that include Google Business Profile Management. But that's all I'm going to say. You could go to thencandesigns.com. You could check out those services. But if you're having trouble with your Google Business Profile, the first thing I recommend you do is just go to my website. Go to the contact page, fill out a form, and write, "Help me with my GBP." I'll know that you've seen this video or the blog post related to this video, and I'll give you a little bit of extra love, and we can take a look at your Google Business Profile, maybe just on a Zoom call, and I can see if I can help you out. Maybe your profile's suspended, maybe you can't get verified, maybe you're not sure why you're not ranking higher. I bet you if I take just a little bit of time to look around, I might be able to help you out. So again, it's not a call for sales, It's a call to see if I can help you out, because that's the point of these videos, is to be helpful. Again, thencandesigns.com/contact us. The link is in the description. Click on that, say help me with my GBP, and I'll be sure to give you a little extra TLC when I reply to that contact form. SGE, Search Generative Experience. It's the hook I included at the start of the video because I wanted you to get to this point. SGE is going to change everything. Google has already announced that in the first 6 months of 2024, they're going to release SGE to the masses. If you're not sure what that is, SGE is going to be Google's AI-generated responses that's going to put at the top of the search results. If you've never seen this before, I want to let you see what it looks like. It's not available everywhere, but it is available in beta form right now in the United States for personal accounts. And so I have to use my personal account, so I'm going to hop over there. So I search for Ben Web Design, and what you're going to see below that generate button is what you'll typically see. All right, you see there's Ben Can Designs. It's the second listing there, so we like that. And if we go down to the organic search results, oh, you can see all my keyword research right here. Look at all the competitors I've clicked on. There's Ben Can Designs. What is that? 9th. That's the first page of Google back in the day. I'll take it. But this is not how Google is going to look by the end of the year. It's actually going to look like this. So this is what SGE looks like. What it does is it provides an answer, an AI-generated answer up at the top, and behind these little toggles, it cites some sources. And then it'll also give you a local search result and give you some other things. And so what I want you to notice, if you'd be so kind, is do you see a company showing up in the SGE results over and over again? Let's see. I see Then Can Designs being cited here, Then Can Designs being the #1 result here, and sure, we're number 5, but for some reason our image is being run right here. If you want to stay ahead of the curve with SGE, maybe you should listen to the people behind Then Can Designs. Now, you may be wondering, how the heck did I do it? Well, it's because I put so much energy in my Google business profile. I think. I don't know. The algorithm doesn't tell you why it's doing certain things, but I firmly believe it's because I've worked on my on-site SEO, my technical SEO, all that stuff, but also my Google business profile. You see, the generative AI responses are pulling information from sources like your website, your Google business profile, your YouTube page, and it's tying it all together. And then it's presenting the best result it thinks is possible. So a lot of SEOs right now are thinking that Google business profiles are probably actually going to be your direct line to Google's generative AI, i.e. SGE. Is that enough letters for you? Now, why is this so important? Not so much for this example with web design, but there's a lot of times in the future where you might search for something and never make it to a website. Think about it. A lot of us have been using ChatGPT every day. Guilty. And sometimes I'll just look something up, ask a question, and ChatGPT will give me the answer. And instead of having to go to Wikipedia or a local search result, I'm done. I get out. That's called a zero-click search result. There's going to be more and more of these. And what this is going to lead to is a decrease in traffic. However, if you can position yourself to be optimized, to be recommended by these generative AI responses that are citing you, you could be the one click that people make when it's time to make a click. People still need to buy stuff, and it's going to be on websites for the foreseeable future. So, although we may see a decrease in traffic, many digital marketing experts believe we will see an increase in conversions, but only for the people that optimize for SGE. That's the secret of 2024, people. If we are putting in the effort to things like our Google business profile and our local SEO, we are going to get rewarded by the AI. And that's the way that small businesses can survive in this AI-driven world. The key is going to be including as much helpful content as possible on your digital presence, which starts with your Google business profile. Think about it. Let's say I did a really specific search, like best coffee shop for remote work in Bend. I don't do remote work, but I work in a lot of coffee shops in Bend. So I'm curious to see who they recommend. And you can see here, they say Bend Coffee Republic, who I've actually never been to, so I'm curious. The Commons is my go-to, so I'm glad to see them highly ranked. But right now it's still kind of at surface level. But as SGE gets better, it might be able to say like, hey, this particular coffee shop is better because of this or because of the ambiance. One thing I'm noticing in all of these results is that it's saying casual, relaxed, outdoor fire pit, small chain. So it's businesses that are relaxed, because that's what you want, right? When you're working somewhere, you want a relaxed vibe. You don't want to go into the hectic Starbucks where you can't pay attention because there's so much stuff going on. Like, it's still in experimental mode, and those are pretty good responses. And I think I'm going to go check out Ben Coffee Republic later on this week. The integration of SGE into Google search results is frankly scary. We don't know what's coming next. But what we can already see from the experience is that Google is going to continue to recommend relevant local results, and it's going to use the cues it has for years. Google Business Profile, websites that are optimized for local SEO, and other factors, even things like backlinks, which we don't like, are still going to be important because it wants to recommend people that have experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. That double EAT that Google loves to recommend, especially in a world that's about to be inundated with AI generated content. So while it's scary, this is a great opportunity to increase your business's visibility and engage more with your customers. If you feel like you're having a hard time staying ahead with the SEO game, especially in the age of stuff like SGE, stop stressing. Let me worry about that for you. ThenCan Designs offers a free marketing review. It's super easy. You just go to thencandesigns.com/review. It takes like 5 minutes to fill out the form, and within a week, I will personally record a video and I will give you 3 actionable items that you can do right now for your small business's digital marketing, and you can figure out what you want to do next in this crazy time. So again, that's thencandesigns.com/review. Link is in the description if you need help finding it. Again, it's completely free, no commitment. Check it out. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you've made it this far, you now know what a Google Business Profile is, who qualifies for it, what the heck Google My Business was and now is. You've learned how to set up a Google Business Profile from scratch. You've learned how to optimize a Google Business Profile and how to manage a Google Business Profile. You're a Google Business Profile expert, and you've learned a little bit about SGE, Search Generative Experience, which is going to take over Google in the next 6 months, and you've learned how to use GBP to get ahead of SGE. As this AI-generated content floods the market, we have to make sure that human-generated content wins the day, even if we let ChatGPT help us a little bit. Make sure your experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust is exuded in everything that you put out into the world in 2024, and I bet you the algorithm will reward you more and more. It's getting smarter. By setting up your Google Business Profile, completely filling it out, and maintaining it, you're making sure that you're going to engage with your customers better, increase your visibility, and honestly just serve your customers better in this digital age. Remember, your Google Business Profile is key to your business's success. It's essentially the handshake for your business. Make it count. Well, thanks for sticking around. I really hope you liked this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comments below. And for sure, you want to subscribe to this video and hit that little dinger so you're notified to make sure you don't miss the next video. If you find content like this helpful for your small business, I highly encourage you to go to that very first link in the description, yoursmallbizseosuccess.com, and sign up for our email list where we talk about Google Business Profiles, local SEO, email marketing, and everything related to digital marketing for small business owners, so that way we can make 2024 your best year yet. Really looking forward to you getting on the email list and for crushing 2024. Are you ready? Let's do this. Catch you in the next video.